Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to break down all the master items from the NHL 21 Blockbusters event. Now, this event came with far different 94 or max overall master items that we kind of have to break down. I think I'm going to do those in a separate video because those are a lot different to obtain, and I want to focus on just the 93s, the ones that you can get in packs and sets that work normally like any other event does, because I think that's what most players that are looking for just the quick best item are going to want to go for, as opposed to the untradeable max item that is a lot different than prior events. I'm going to have a separate video for that because that requires a whole other different level of thinking because the investment involved in it. So today we're going to focus on just the 93 overalls in this event. We're going to rank them in terms of importance and give you my takes on if you should even go after them at all or if there's better alternatives for you guys. So let's get into the video. And guys, don't forget, please subscribe for daily NHL content. And if you want to catch me live on Twitch, I start my streams at 10 a.m. Eastern time every day. Link is down below. All right, let's get into the content. All right, so again, this is strictly for the 93 overalls in this event that you can obtain in packs and the normal sets and whatnot that you normally do. All right, obviously the 93 Marc-Andre Fleury. This isn't like the Team of the Year Vasilevskiy that gets you out of synergy prison for basically the rest of the game and increases in value and, stats throughout. Marc-Andre Fleury, 6'2", not that great of height. Obviously, with master items, because their stats are not capped with the progression of goaltenders, you want to make sure that you have, a taller goaltender would be better. For example, the 94 Christmas David Rittich is technically better than this Marc-Andre Fleury because Marc-Andre Fleury is 6'2". Taller goaltenders are still better if their stats are not capped. That being said, he has Spark and Distributor, which are great, and then Heart and Soul, which is probably the last synergy of all the team-based synergies you look to activate. So while Spark and Distributor are both valuable, and this goaltender is great in terms of stats because he's not capped, just obviously not nearly as important as the other guys in this event, so that is why he ranks number 7 in the list. Next up is the 93 Chris Denomenico. All right, 5'11", 183. Honestly, while I enjoy that they're putting in cards that from the national leagues and leagues overseas, I do appreciate it. It's just when it comes to master items, there's been like a weird selection choice for a lot of them. And this one seems kind of weird, but nonetheless, I get the highlighting of the European leagues, which I do like. That being said, this card is super underwhelming in my opinion. All right, so the Spark, great synergy, absolutely. But you have to remember when the card comes with a team-based synergy, that's his max with it activated. So 88 is his highest acceleration. Howitzer does save him because he gets his speed to 88, and then obviously with Distributor, it can get to 91. All that being said, wouldn't be so terrible if he wasn't 5'11" and, a winger. So, again, we've said this all year long. You want to have fast wingers because of just how this game plays. The nerf that the defensemen received during this game, when they make their turn to, go from back skating to turn around, is a big nerf, and you can really take advantage of it with fast skaters. Now, that's not saying that, any player with under 91 or under 95 is useless. It's just, if you're 5'11", you want to be able to make up for it in other places. He does have 98 body checking with Spark activated, which is great, but he's still not going to be able to do the short bump offs that you would normally do with much bigger players. So he is built like a centerman, but no face-off rating to be able to obtain it, and he's 5'11". So it's not a good mix. Howitzer and Magician are nice, but Magician on this card, would be a lot better if the card was faster. If he had Speedster instead of Magician, this would probably save the card in my opinion, but you have to think that the cost that it's going to take to get this card on your team or make him is just not nearly enough of a reward for the investment there. So that is why he comes in at number 6. Coming in at number 5 is the 93 Jack Johnson. Now, I'm not going to lie, the card art and everything of these events have been pretty cool. The selection of some of these players throughout this year has been a major head scratcher for me, and I've definitely left my opinion in the Game Changer chat, so maybe next year there's a little bit more look of it. This card in particular, like, we've already had a high-end Jack Johnson card. Here's the thing, guys. These cards are selected before the game goes out. So the master set items, those are already programmed into the game when the game is launched. The guys that you receive, the normal players, so in this event it would be like Seth Jones and Taylor Hall. Those are the ones that they can add in and change throughout the year before the event. That's fine. The master items, they're locked in. They have to get the graphics done for them. Those are shipped with the game. I don't understand how Jack Johnson is a big enough name or, just deserving of a master item. So not a huge fan of this at all. I think that there's a ton of other selections, and I've not really been critical of the HUT content at all this year because I thought that it's been pretty good. They've done a really good job of highlighting some teams that normally don't get master items. But this one has kind of been like all right, what? Okay, I don't understand. Now, that being said, let's take a look at the card. So he's a left-handed defenseman. Now there's quite a few left-handed defensemen at the top end. He does have Spark. He does have Magician. He does have Shutdown. That being said, he's 6'1", so it's not like he has super elite size. And with Spark, he's capped at 92 acceleration. He's got 91 speed. So he basically has the skating of Team of the Year Hedman or any Victor Hedman, yet he's 5 inches shorter. Just not enough. His slap shot without shutdown is under 90 accuracy. His defensive stats are obviously great, so it's not like this is a bad card. But again, for a master item at this stage of the game, you really want that different separator. Like, for example, even with Magician, this is kind of like making him a much worse version or a lower end version of OEL, who, in my opinion, has been the best skater that I've actually used throughout this game that isn't Jack Hughes. So obviously he's nowhere near that card. He's 6'1", not 6'4", so he can't compete with the Oscar Clefbaum, and he's 5 inches shorter than Victor Hedman. So this is basically a little bit higher body checking Miro Heiskanen. So just a hard pass on this one. The only reason he goes ahead of Didon Miko is that card just is like a build like Leon Draisaitl. He's just really small. So these ones hard avoids in my opinion. Coming in at number 4 would be the 93 Shea Weber. Comes with distributor, passing playmaker, and light the lamp. This again, this is actually a really good defenseman card in my opinion. So just because he's number 4 on this list doesn't mean that he's bad. There's just some other options that I would rather have when you're matching these cards up in a vacuum. So with distributor, gets up to 89 speed, which isn't awful. However, we just had the 6'6" Dougie Hamilton who has 89 speed prior to distributor. So he has 99 shot power, which is great. If you get passing playmaker activated on this card, he gets up to 93, which actually I think really benefits him because that is, if you can get that on there, he's got almost the best shot that he could possibly have. That being said, it's just, if you're going to spend this much of an investment, just get Dougie Hamilton. Like, there's no reason not to. I like that he has distributor, but you don't really need a lot of cards nowadays that have distributor because when you factor in the fact that you have Mario Lemieux, your coach at +3, and both of your goaltenders with distributor, you need like 4 cards that have it at most. So just not something that you desperately need. And then the 2 other, plastic playmaker can light the lamp. Well, again, it's not like it's a bad thing to add stats to your cards. It's just these ones are both ones that you're not looking to activate, and you might just accidentally because of the cards that you invest in. So this is a really good card, but again, I would much rather have Dougie Hamilton. He's a bit bigger and he's already faster. And then, Philip Myers, again, just the same as bigger and helps you out with synergies as well in terms of wingman. So just not a huge fan. Also, got to point out the fact he's got 90 agility, 82 deking. So he is basically a one-trick pony when you're breaking the puck out. You're not going to be able to move at all like you would with like OEL or Erik Karlsson. So this one is number 4 on the list. And again, I wouldn't invest in it. This one I would go after the Dougie Hamilton. Coming in at number 3 is the 93 Mike Fisher, 6'1", 216. And again, I'm not going to lie, just a super odd choice. I liked Mike Fisher when he played in the NHL. It's just like, I'm a Sharks fan and I can think of like Joe Thornton. Like that is the type of, when I think of blockbusters, that's what I think about. These are just good players that got traded, just like Jack Johnson, Anyways, so with Swarm activated, passing playmaker, again, not one you're super looking forward to, and Speedster, this is an all-around decent card, and when you consider the fact that he's got 93 faceoffs, I'd probably rather have this card than the Crosby from the last event, just because, he's a little bit bigger. Outside of that, it's very, very similar. So if you didn't catch it on Crosby, this could, benefit you, to the point where you can grab this one, and he's your new centerman for the next, foreseeable future. His acceleration is a little low, though. I mean, again, centermen aren't super important when it comes to skating. So if you have Spark activated, that's fine. But yeah, just an all-around good card, kind of like a ho-hum at this stage for a master item, what you would expect, but a really, really good centerman nonetheless, and, it wouldn't be a bad thing to invest in this Mike Fisher card. Coming in at number 2 is the 93 Phil Kessel. So, obviously, he's got 3 burn synergies, because, if you gave him any of the good ones, this card would be broken. So, it's 6 foot, 202, fine size. He has Shutdown and Gladiator. Again, balanced. You might have activated if you're hut rich or if you have a super obscure team build, but let's just assume that you don't. So Shutdown is a very, very easily activated synergy just because of how many top end cards have it. I've said this a number of times. He doesn't really benefit from it on the shot because his shot is literally maxed out. That's incredible. Obviously, that's endgame. You essentially with this card don't need another right-handed winger. The problem is there's so many good right-handed wingers already. When you consider Lafleur, who's not going anywhere on your team. You consider Lemieux, if you play him on the wing, which most people do, not going anywhere. Then when you have Pasternak and Panarin on our team of the year, they're not going anywhere. So it's just, very, very tough at this point to put him into your lineup. And even Steven Stamkos, I think I'd rather have the Stamkos in this card, but it's awfully close. But Stamkos has good synergies, whereas Phil Kessel is just kind of either being careful with him. And I understand. So acceleration gets up to 97, speed gets up to 96. That's all fine. Everything else is basically maxed out. Defensively, he's okay, but if you get Gladiator active on and you put him 92 body checking, that's actually pretty sweet. But again, not a synergy that a lot of good cards have, but you might need it. But regardless, don't overthink it. This is an awesome right-handed winger card, just like his base card's been for free-to-play players or brand new guys at the beginning of the game. Awesome card, and I actually don't mind this choice. Phil Kessel, at the time when his trade happened, that was a blockbuster. So while I'm all around, this is a great card. Number 1, we've got the 93 Eric Lindros. This is the best card of this entire release, and another one that I would, I kind of think that, there was a lot of trades, and when he's involved, he was an unbelievable player, so I'm all right with this selection as well, and we haven't really got an awesome Eric Lindros card, so other than the 88, I mean like an awesome master set version in any of the NHL games. So Distributor gets him up to 87 speed. That's slow, obviously, people are going to point to that. Again, center is the position that you need speed the least, and when he's 6'4", 240 with 99 body checking, like, that's incredible. He is really, really going to dominate in his own zone. The one thing I'm actually kind of critical of is his stick checking, because the stick checking stat is very, very important, but you're probably not going to be defending by Pochek's awful lot with this card. He is someone you're going to control in the middle of your ice in the slot, and just basically bump away anyone because no one is getting around him. And even if he's the last man back, or if he's, if you're at the blue line trying to defend with him, it's going to be very difficult to get around him. So that's why I love this card. That being said, if you get Thief activated, it makes him absolutely elite. 99 on the draws means you don't have to get another centerman for the rest of the game. You can have him on your 4th line for the rest of the game, and he's unreal. If you get Wingman activated, which a lot of people do, then his acceleration can get up over 90 with Spark activated. His shot is basically maxed in terms of his wrist shot, and then his hand stats are all 99. This is an absolute power center, and very, very well thought out. I really like this card. His stick checking is the only knock, but again, if you get Thief activated on him, say you have Crosby as well from the last event, it's not out of the question. And if you are someone who's holding on to Paul Coffey, he's going to get 2 to Thief very shortly. So you could be set right there for Thief as terms of a synergy. So a great card, and definitely one to invest in. If there is any one of the cards to look into to getting in terms of the 93s, it's this Eric Lindros, and again, you would be fine to get him untradeable for the rest of the game. You don't need to overthink it, guys. This is a phenomenal card all the way around. All right, guys, so that is going to do it for my ranking of the master items. I'm going to do a couple other videos helping explain this event a little bit further, because the 94s, that's a whole other video that you need to break down, as the way that you acquire them. You have a 2-week period basically to do like the fantasy sets where you're getting cards to upgrade them throughout. We need to break that down. There's also sunsets and how the sunsets are working now, and again, I think that whole other thing deserves a video in itself. So yeah, if you have any questions, let me know in the comments section down below, but don't forget to check out My other video that's coming out shortly would be the ranking of the 94s. So if you are looking to invest in them, I'll make sure that I have you guys totally educated on it. All right, guys, thank you for watching again. Leave a comment on the video, or a like and a comment on the video if you did enjoy it, and subscribe for daily NHL content. I'll see you next time. Have a good one, boys.